Greetings, Game Changers. This is Classic Games Redefined. My name's Rich, and this is yet another one of my games in half a checkerboard. It's called Even Otter, and mechanics are very similar to Site Reduction, which I did prior. Slightly different, and my idea was to try to come up with something that was weird. And I will explain in a minute how this works here, but I mean how the win conditions and stuff work. It's odd. And the object of the game is to end up meeting win conditions, and if you tie, it goes that way, and eventually it comes down to whether or not you pick even or odd. Alternating turns between white and black, and one thing I should have did before I begin, let me go into the host and the chest, just because they're going to pull something else here, and I will pull out these pawns. So we're going to add a white pawn there. And I'll add a black pawn here. Okay. Oh, fell over. That's just to mark even or odd. And let me go into menu and save this. Wait 1 second. We need to go in here, which I will do here. Even otter. Save it. Okay. We have it. This board was randomly set up. You can also do a deterministic version. We'll have a link below in the description to do it. The way it works is that plate pieces end up moving vertically or horizontally like chess rooks, and then they land on top of a friendly piece to end up forming stacks. And we'll start with like white going and then black going. And the object of the game here is you're trying to do until one player can't move, and then the game will end. And then you're going to determine who wins. So actually, okay, when a player doesn't have a single move, what we'll do here is that it goes on through several conditions. You play. Go like that there. And if you see him doing, then white will end up doing something like this here. And then black can do something else like that there. It's going to go on till you don't have a legal move. Check site reduction for the play like this here. As I said, it's moving, and rather than getting removed, they form stacks. And you go across, you can move, if there's a gap, like this could come here or that could go there. You're going to play till one player doesn't have a move, then the game ends. And you determine the winner. The first player, if you manage to get all your pieces into a single stack, and they prevent their opponent from doing the same, the first player wins. Otherwise, the second player wins the game. If that doesn't happen, then the players will look at whoever has the most stacks or 2 more pieces. A stack is considered having 2 or more pieces, and the player who has most wins the game. And then what you do here is a different thing that happens, is that if players have the same number of stacks on the board, then you look to see who has the single tallest stack, and that player will win the game. Then what it was is that if both players have the same tallest stack, the same size, number of pieces in it, for example, let's see if we can do this here. Like here, that has 2 in it. That has 2 in it. I want to move here, for example. That has 3 in it, for example. And then you look up. What's going to happen before the game begins? You look at it, you call out, one player calls out odd or even. And with the white, they'll go odd or even. And let's say, put on 2 meaning, white's even and black's odd. So they're just going to trace lines like this, very similar to the way site reduction works, but it has its own twist, as you can see here. It's an experimental piece. The fact that I'm acquiring contradictory win conditions is part of the character. I know somebody I playtested with didn't like that, but again, this is an experimental piece. If you can tell by the name Even Otter, it's a really oddball game, and not as oddball as some things, but I was just experimenting. So anyhow, that's the latest. I do want to thank you for listening. Check the link below for descriptions and the rules. But that's pretty much the way it works. And I do want to thank you for listening. May your die always roll 5. Remember, don't hate the player. Change the game.